when you plug into environments that empower and highlight your commitment, you're more likely to make it. So like if all of a sudden like Jeremiah invests more in leads, and I forgot to ask this dude, but I think I know the answer, maybe I'm wrong, but you said I used to be a 9:30 a.m. dude. Like I roll into the office at 9:30 a.m.
I said I was a 10 a.m. to it.
10 a.m. So he was a guy, and you know who you are if you're watching this. You know if it's you, or you're like rolling in at 10 a.m. trying to like sneak in when nobody's looking at you because they've already been down for 3 hours. When you've convinced yourself, well, I had to go run that errand or whatever to get there at 10. You know if it's you. But you became the 7 a.m. dude. How was that a couple weeks ago? How long ago was that?
Well, like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, well, perfect point. And we didn't even orchestrate this. But guess what happened 2 weeks ago? Jeremiah invested more in leads. So the very fact that he in his mind said, I'm investing more in leads, showed himself that I'm committed. And because he was committed, guess what 10 a.m. boy did? Showed up at 7 a.m. Are you tracking with me? It's a big C, and it ain't cancer, it's commitment. It's commitment. It's commitment. Like, are you really committed to success? So if in my mind, if I sit back and say, what does it look like to go out and help 40, 50 families a month and build a business? Like, I'm not good at a lot of things, trust me. And I'm very, very aware of the things I'm not good at. But I understand, I mean, for 10 years straight, I was helping 40 families a month. 10 years straight, I was in the top 10. And it wasn't like I was anything special. It was just a commitment to doing the daily activities. Because be clear, I was probably the worst, most unskilled person when I got started. By far. If you would have heard, I wish we could have video recorded, because then you could have saw me in my mom's garage where I first made my first dial in a chair with a TV tray. That was my first dial session. And it was 110 degrees. You said, Paul, why'd you do that? Well, I did that because my mom lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, and my brother had a bedroom. My mom had the other bedroom. And my mom likes watching soap operas real loud. And if I said, can you turn that down? I'm trying to work. She said, that's cute because I pay the bills. That's how that would have worked. That's why I was in the garage, dialing in 110 degree weather, scared to death, unsure. I remember my mom opened the door, didn't know I was in the garage. She went to go check the laundry. She said, what are you doing in here? And I jumped, like, I was so nervous. It was like she caught me doing something bad, you know what I mean? I was like, what are you doing in here? I'm working. Get out of here. What are you doing in here? I'll change the laundry. You know, but like, that's where it started. But it was just a commitment. Now, it's easier to make a commitment when it's life or death. Does that make sense? Like Jeremiah wasn't life or death necessarily. You could say, well, it was. Well, like maybe for him, but mine was life or death because I had a baby too. Like for her, for my spouse. So like it was different. It was easier to make that commitment. In fact, you know when the hardest time it is to make a commitment? When you have a bunch of money. Well, or when you have more money and you're doing better than what maybe you just expected. That's hard to make the commitment. It's hard to make a commitment to stretch your basis, to grow your basis, to get better. And it's easy then to fall into self-sabotaging behaviors like compromise, right? Pointing to different things of why you don't really need to grow, showing I mean, it's difficult when it's not. So commitment's the main thing. Commitment, guys, that's the biggest thing. And so the second thing to that is opportunities, having people to call. So for anybody watching this sales clinic, the second thing, so the first thing is, are you committed? And if you say you are, take a look at your schedule. When did you wake up? When did you get to the office? What did your schedule look like? Even what are you saying? Does that make sense? Like that reveals commitment. I'll give you an example. I'm committed to my spouse, and I start talking to a bunch of people about how she's not any good. I wish she would do more. Do you think that encourages my commitment or kills my commitment? Oh my God, it kills it. So I'm more likely to do the things and treat her in such a way to strengthen that commitment if I'm speaking that stuff to everybody else? No. Of course not, right? And be clear. Do me and my spouse have disagreements? We got 5 kids. We got 5 different reasons to argue every single day. This one did this, and like, I mean, it's like World War III at my house. I mean, just go over there. You know what I mean? Like, and I got one kid that still throws fits, and it's like Old Testament fits, Daniel, where like, you know, when like they were in agony, they rip off their clothes when somebody would die. Like, ah! You know, that's her. She's just ripping off clothes. I'm like, she's naked again. Like, you know, like, get it together. She's mad. Like, we're just figuring it out, right? There's all kinds of different things that we could argue about. I leave stuff out. I mean, like, you know, if you got a spouse. But if I start speaking to my buddy about, hopefully it's a good enough buddy that's like, whoa, dude, like, you do know that there's nothing good that comes from that. Like, that's just that's going to kill your commitment. Hopefully that's a buddy that can do that. And if it's not a buddy that just listens and like, yeah, dude, what the heck, man? Like, yeah, she should appreciate that she ain't got to go to work. She should. And I'm like, yeah, like that dude is he's gonna kill me. Does that make sense? Like, that ain't any good. Now he's feeding me, and I'm going home, and you think I'm more likely to do things and behave in such? No. So what I'm saying is, like, your communication. Be clear. Has there been times in the business where I'm like, dude, these leads? Now, the moment I say that, I kill my commitment. Does that make sense, guys? The moment I say it, I kill my commitment. Because it's not the leads. By the way, if you think the leads suck, in the nicest way I could say it, you suck. The leads don't suck. You suck. Now I can say that objectively because I've worked every lead. So it's not like when I say something and I have not experienced or gone through it and you're like, dude, I hear you saying that from out here, but you ain't been up in here, bro. Oh, I've been up in there. I've worked every lead type. I've worked the ones that say final expense, don't say final expense, they say Social Security free benefits, and they don't even know it's life insurance. They don't even know it costs. And I'm up there like, hey, it's $50 a month. And she's like, I've seen it all. And I've written 30, 40 families a month, every month, no matter what the lead type is. The reality is you want to get more leads. And if you've got more leads, because you got more shots, the third thing, which is what we really want to talk about today, is you want to have the ability, you want to have the opportunity to grow and develop and get better. So if you've got commitment, you've got enough leads, and you're not seeing the results you want, you got to get better. Does that make sense? And you gotta want to get better. Now, wanting to get better says it's on me. Does that make sense? But it's easy if you're getting leads and stuff like this, you know. And Jeremiah said it great. He said, dude, like, I convinced myself that I was door knocking, man. I convinced myself. And see, what happens is this. If we do it occasionally, we can spotlight that and act like we do it all the time. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Like so he would occasionally, like, on a Monday, invest the right amount of leads for that day. And then he would spotlight it looking back in hindsight, say, dude, I invested, remember on that one Monday? That one Monday. It's like, fool, is it every Monday? No, that one Monday. It was good Monday. You know, Good Friday was a good Monday. It was good Monday. It was that Monday. Or I get on the podcast on everyone. I love this quote. I think it was Craig Rochelle said that successful people do consistently what others do occasionally. Now the others convince themselves that what they do occasionally, in fact, is consistently, but it's not if they actually really unpack it and take a look at the schedule. You can convince yourself that you're dialing. Has anybody ever convinced himself that they're dialing? Man, I'm on the phones all day, dog. Like 7 a.m., I'm on the phones all day. And then you actually look at your dial tracker, or you're not tracking, and then you're like, I've been dialing, and the person's like, let me see your tracker. I didn't track. Well, if you're going to complain to me, you got to come to me with your dials. In fact, I don't want to hear a complaint. If you don't have accountability and responsibility, and it's some other circumstance situation, I got nothing for you, bro. Just don't talk to nobody else, because you're going to kill. You're going to spread that, regurgitate that poo-poo everywhere else. But when I come to you and say, dial, track it, and then you track it, and all of a sudden, guess what happens? Like, holy crap, I thought I was dialing more. Okay, Weight Watchers, It works, right? People lose weight. There's testimonials. What they realize, they just track what they eat.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, I do eat like a fat person. Like, that's all it is. Like, they didn't, like, you just track your weight and then you're like, dang, dude, I can't eat that too because, man, I already ate that and this and this. But if you ain't tracking it, at the end of the day, you think that you didn't do as bad as you did. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's the way it works. So, commitment, enough shots, and then increasing your ability. Now, again, you have to believe that you're not crushing it. All right. Have you ever had, I know Daniel's probably had this happen. Have you ever called an agent and they're like, dude, I can't overcome to think about it. Or I can't, they keep saying they're not interested or they want to shop, whatever objection, right? And you're like, okay. And you give them what to say. And have you ever had it where they say, oh, dude, that's what I said? Yeah. Have you ever had that? All right. So when I get that, I'm like, oh, really? That's great. Repeat it back to me then. Have you ever done that? And they repeat it back and they don't say it. So you got to do that, dude. Because for one, yeah, because they're not saying it. So to me, what I do is I start laughing. Jeremiah's like, I said that. I said, that's cute, Jeremiah. Have you always been that cute? That's cute. Hey, all right, repeat it back to me. What did I say? And then they'll get like 3 words in, dude. I had this one agent. Prime example. He said he was committed. I don't know if he was or wasn't, right? Was buying enough leads, but getting better. Like you have to learn what to say. Like, dude, like, see, Dan, you're very good at what to say. Like, one of the best. And I don't go around saying that to everybody. You guys have known I don't say, hey, that person. Like, when it comes to like, they said this, I say this, my tone, my speed, my tonality, which is why we're gonna have you, do a one-on-one coaching. It's very good. But you've never been like, oh, I just say it like that. Like you're wanting the feedback and coaching. You came to the back in the day, beginning, stages of brand new being an agent. Like you were there listening, taking notes and stuff like that to develop that. Just like I was, man. Like I didn't know what to say just by genetic makeup. Like I was just created to say this when they say that. No, I had to learn it, right? But so this agent's like, he's got those things right. But he's like, dude, I've made 300 dials today. And I didn't only book this many appointments. And he's thinking now it's the leads. And he's thinking that, why? Because if you don't think it's you, what do you have to point to? Other things. The leads, the people, whatever. You got to make it up. You got to come up with something. If it ain't. So I'm working with this agent. And I said, let me listen to you dial. And I said, in fact, watch me dial. It's probably 2 years ago. I've been out of the field for a while, so I go down there. I'm dialing the leads. I book like 3 appointments. I get a whole like 5 people, book like 3. And he's like, dude, I say the same thing. It just must be like a coincidence. Like you just, I'm like, all right, dude, let me hear you, bro. Let me hear you. So he starts dialing these leads, and no kidding. I mean, I was like, dude, like, is this a joke? Like, I feel like it's like that. Remember that one show, was it Cheaters, where they'd pop out of the bush or something? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? No, am I aging myself? You don't remember that? Dan, you remember that? Yeah. Was it called Cheaters? It's called Cheaters. Yeah, it was called Cheaters. It was great. I mean, like, I thought it was hilarious. They pop out of a bush, they'd catch him cheating, and they'd be like, I didn't cheat. And it's like, you're with her. Like, you guys are holding hands still. Like, we caught you in the moment. So I'm sitting there, and they say, he goes in to book an appointment. He says, so Elizabeth, if you wouldn't mind, it's only going to take about 10 minutes of your time. I just need about 10 minutes of your time to go through this information with you. What's your schedule look like? Do you have anything available this week? That's what he says. He says, if you wouldn't mind, which do you think I ever said if you wouldn't mind? It's the stupidest sell. That's the dumbest thing you could ever say when you're trying to close a deal. If you wouldn't mind. No. If I wouldn't mind, I'm the one making schedule for you, and you need this desperately. I don't. So he says, if you wouldn't mind, I only need about 15 minutes of your time. I can put you down sometime this week, but what's your schedule? Are you available this week at all? What? So I'm like, dude, did you literally thought is that what I said? He's like, yeah. I'm like, But he had convinced himself, understand what I'm saying? He could never get better because in his mind, he thought he was doing it exactly the right way. You understand what I'm saying? The reality is there's always progress. There's always ways to get better, okay? Always ways to get better. And so that's what the purpose of we want to get into this is really working one-on-one with helping people get better with what to say. Because that's one of the biggest deficits, not knowing what to say. And now we can get deep and say like, well, they don't know what to say because they don't see themselves in the right way. They think of themselves as a salesperson, therefore they approach it like they're a salesperson. We could get it, I get all that. But I really want to get into like hands-on, practical, this is what we say, this is how we say it. Does that make sense? So who in here, like, who wants to do like, we could do some phone script role play. Who?
You guys didn't even know the question.
Jayvin? Well, Jayvin, dude, like, if you were getting voted for president, you would have won anonymously. This wouldn't have been like a recount, like it was a landslide, bro. So why don't you come up real quick, man? You grab I'll grab a stool, you grab a stool. Here, I'll grab this one for you. I wore
you, or are you calling me?
I wear some good shoes today because I knew that you would.
Oh, okay.
I knew you'd be rocking out, dude. So, you know, I brought my shoe game today. All right, so yeah, you call me. What kind of lead are you calling me with?
Would lead like.
Well, let's do this, man. How about this? Let's do why don't we do like objection? I'll give you a couple objections, and I want to hear how you respond. Okay. So Jayvin, this week's not going to work, man. Can you give me a call back next week?
Well, usually we are you know we see a lot of families, so we try to fit you in the spots that we do have available. I can't really tell you if we have the time next week, so I have a slot for this day, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday I'm open for 10, and I have one at 3 p.m. Does that work for you?
I don't know if this week's going to work, man. You probably have to just get back to me next week.
I usually get stuck on that.
So okay, so for me, my biggest objection that I had a struggle overcoming was this objection, because it was like, it wasn't like they weren't saying they weren't interested. It was almost like a procrastination, like a put off. So the thing with objection handling, you always want to relate to them first. So if they say they're really busy, dude, I understand being busy, right? If they say they're not interested, man, I'm not interested either. So the first goal with sales is like, I gotta first meet you where you're at. And dude, be clear, this works with your spouse and everything else. With arguing and anything else. A lot of times in a debate, like if you just say, no, I understand 100%, and you can go from there, it works out good. So the first step in selling is I gotta meet you where you're at. So if you say, I'm really busy, I say, perfect, Jayvin, listen, man, I understand being busy. In fact, the next couple months, they've got me managing in multiple different areas because we are that behind with the amount of requests for families wanting the information to protect their family and the amount of field underwriters that we have to service them. So I'm kind of helping out. So I understand 100%. So step one is always to relate. Does that make sense? I gotta look at my budget first, and then I can give you an answer. Can we just get back to you next week? I understand looking at your budget. In fact, I'm the exact same way. In fact, Jayvin, I don't understand somebody that doesn't have an idea and they just blindly put things in place without understanding their budget. I get it 100%. So I'm always going to meet them where they're at. Man, right now doesn't work if you're door knocking. Right now is a bad time. Man, hey, Jayvin, listen, I understand it being a bad time. In fact, I run by appointment only anyways, and so I know right now is not a good time for neither one of us. What I could try to do is put you between appointments tomorrow. We've got a very jam-packed schedule, but I know this is important, so I could squeeze you between them. What time are you typically back in the door? I can't promise anything, but when are you in?
I usually about like 4:30.
4:30. Okay, listen, man, I do have a 4:30 already booked. I do know that off the top of my head. But I can put you down at 5 o'clock. I'll put you at 5. Give me a window, though, Jayvin, because I'm going to have 15, 16 appointments tomorrow. So I should be there between, like, say, 4:30, 5:30. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, that's fine.
So the goal is to always relate. If Jayvin says, man, my schedule is really busy, can you call me back next week? Well, Jayvin, we just really want to try to squeeze you in, and we only have so many slots. Now, guess what I sound like I'm doing? I'm arm wrestling with him. I'm combative. Well, he wants to put it off, but I don't want to put it off. But Jayvin, I only got a couple slots, man. I got to put you in. So now we're going back and forth. I take away the back and forth because I'm on your side. I agree with you. I don't care about anything, man. I don't believe in life insurance, man. I don't really either, because what if you never die? Now that doesn't even make any sense because you're gonna die. But I'm saying I'll relate like that, and I can be even a smart I can relate, right? I don't believe in life insurance. I don't either, man, because people probably don't die. There's got to be a couple of them. But anyways, man. But you got to relate. You got to, because that's, you take away their combativeness. Does that make sense? What are you gonna do now? It's like, you remember that movie 8 Mile?
Yeah.
All right, remember at the end of the movie where he just kills himself, and then the guy's like, well, heck, what do I say now? Well, because he took away everything from him. The guy was going to say, you're from a trailer park, you're this, you're that, you're this, and this, right? And then Eminem's like, he comes out and says, yeah, maybe I am this. He's relating everything he's going to say. What the heck is he going to say now? He has nothing to say. And then he looks like a fool, right? And he wins the battle. It's opposite. Sometimes we think we win the battle when we try to one-up or express more greater value. No. We got to first relate. We got to first connect with the individual. So I said, Jayvin, perfect. Listen, man, I understand being busy. In fact, the next couple weeks, they've got me managing multiple counties because we're that behind with the requests we've got in for families asking for protection and not enough field underwriters. Now, I can't promise anything, but I'm going to go ahead and put down some notes here. Okay. Now, the purpose of that is for one, it's a takeaway. I can't promise anything. So guess who's got the upper hand now? I do. I related to him, right? I connected with him, and I said, I understand how important this is. I can't promise anything, but I'm gonna put down some notes. So I made it back about him, because it's who's getting the value in this transaction? Him. And that's sales. I remember talking to this guy, and he used to sell like what was it? It was like some cleaner, like a carpet cleaner. Yeah, something like. And he's like, dude, but it's the most expensive one. You know, he's like, it's the most expensive. I'm like, dude, it ain't the most expensive one. It's the cheapest one for the value it has to provide. That was his issue. He kept thinking the cost was keeping him from selling the product because it was the most expensive one. I'm like, dude, that's your issue. I could already tell you if I'm selling it, I'm convincing myself it's the cheapest one. And by the way, it probably costs the most for a reason. So I'm going to convince myself this is the cheapest vacuum cleaner out there because it could do this, and this. So the value far supersedes the cost, because now if you can save yourself 20 minutes a day cleaning your carpet and you got an extra hours, how much is your family? I mean, I tied it all different ways. It's a value proposition. Now you got an extra three hours with your kids. Is that worth an extra $20 a month? Because after $20 a month in 3 years, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's always a way, but are you seeing it in a way to see it that leads you to success? So I play along. I can't promise anything. I'll take some notes down. So Jayvin, what time are you typically back in the door Monday through Friday?
I usually get home around 4:30 every day.
Okay. Are you single, married?
Single.
Single? Okay, so after 4:30 you're typically in the door. Anything usually going on Monday through Friday after 4:30 that you have scheduled, planned, that's pretty consistent?
No, not really.
No, okay. Not really, or like
My,
you
it
do or you
varies.
don't?
It varies. I can't really tell.
Okay, it's like being kind of pregnant. Either you are or you're not. I'm just trying to figure it out, Jayvin.
Yeah.
And I'll say stuff like that because it's funny and it's different. People like different. What they don't like is the same person calling them that sounded like a telemarketer, that was a telemarketer, that sounded like the last telemarketer, that isn't. You're trying to be different. So I'll say stuff like that. It's just funny. Does that make sense? It kind of catches them. It's different. So you say, no, I'll be home after 4:30. Okay, got it. Listen, man, I don't have anything after 4:30 the next couple days, but I know how important this is for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and try to move my 6 o'clock with an earlier time. If I can't do that, I'll let you know, but I'm going to try to put you at 6. So let's just plan on 6 o'clock tomorrow, Jayvin. Because I'm making this work for you and I'm going to try to move my schedule, I'm going to need a window from 5:30 to 6:30. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, he thinks I did him a favor now. So he went from being the person that's like, I'm busy, I'll put it off. I related to him first. Now, once I've related to him, everything about what I'm going to say is going to build a value, right? And it's going to create urgency. And it's going to take away the risk. So the value is, I know how important this is for your family. That's the value. The value is We have so many people sending this in because guess what? We're all humans and we're all innately just wanting to follow the herd. Does that make sense? It's like everybody just wants to follow the herd. That's the way it is. So I'm using that to create value, and then I can't promise anything. I know this is important. I don't know the next time I'm going to be out here. That's all urgency. Like, we got to get this done this week. Does that make sense? And really, Jayvin, whatever you do with it doesn't make no difference to me anyways. I just want to make sure to get this to you. That's removing the risk. So when I do that, now I've got the sales pressure, the wall. It's dropped. Does that make sense? And then you go back to booking the appointment.
Okay.
All right. So you want to try it now?
Yeah. Let's
All right. All right. So Jayvin, man, this week just doesn't work, bro. Can you give me a call back next week?
Well, I completely understand you're busy. You know, I'm pretty busy too, so I can understand where you're coming from. What I can do for you is I can try to squeeze you in within the time. You know, between I have open availability for Saturday.
All right. So stop. So you want to do this. So you want to not just say I'm busy too,
Yes.
but kind of explain, because when you explain why you're busy, because that'll also increase the value of how important this is. Because if it's if all of a sudden, all right, so if all of a sudden eating apples before you make your first dial is going to help you book a lot more appointments, and you're like, that sounds stupid, but you show up and everybody's eating an apple before they make their first dial and they're booking appointments, bro, you're going to eat an apple. Even if you're like, that's dumb, you'll do it because you're like, maybe it's not dumb, maybe I'm dumb. Give me the apple. That's the way it works. You understand what I'm saying? So that's kind of what you're doing, is building a value. Like, so Jayvin, listen, I understand being busy. Man, I'm busy as well. Like, in fact, the next couple weeks, he got me managing a couple different counties because we got more families asking for help than we have field underwriters to serve them. And even that little stuff, like, I'm intentionally saying field underwriters because I don't want they might be thinking of me. So I'm trying to uncover the root to what might be a smokescreen. You guys understand what a smokescreen is? So smokescreen objection is, I'm busy this week. Smokescreen means it's not real. The real objection could be, I don't want no salesperson at my dang house trying to sell me something that I don't want to commit to, and I don't want to buy something that I get taken advantage of because I have to say yes, I feel pressure to say yes. That might be the root. You understand what I'm saying? The smokescreen is, this week ain't that good. That's a smokescreen. So when I'm overcoming the objection, I'm trying to uncover the possible real objection that you might not be telling me, but is typically, commonly, the real objection, which is, I don't know if it's that important. I don't want to be taken advantage of. I don't know if I can trust this person. Those are some of the big things that the person's thinking. So if I can say like stuff like, Jayvin, I'll put down, I understand being busy. The next couple weeks, man, they got me managing a couple different counties. And because we're running really behind with the amount of requests that families are sending in for the protection for their family. And as a field underwriter, we don't have enough of them to go serve these families. And I'm even saying serve intentionally as well. Does that make sense? All right, so let's give it a try. Okay. All right, Jayvin, man, listen, dude. This week's just not a good week. Can you give me a call back next week?
I completely understand being busy. You know, being a field underwriter. You know, we have a lot of families bringing their requests, so we have to make sure that we get those out to those families as well. They have me managing a bunch of different counties, so I completely understand. What time are you usually in the door?
Perfect. Much better. You guys see that was better? Now, and then once you've done that, a bunch of different counties. So what I'll do for you is this. I'm going to go ahead and put down some notes here. I can't promise anything. What time are you typically in the door?
Okay.
So I'm going to put down some notes. Just says like, I'm going to do my best, trying to accommodate you, know how important this is to you, but we'll do our best. I can't promise anything.
Okay.
So after that, the next step is, so listen, man, I can't promise anything, but I'm going to put down some notes here. What time are you in the door? All right, so go with that.
Okay, I can't promise anything here. Sorry.
You're good.
Okay, I can't promise anything here, but I'm going to put some notes down. What time are you usually in the door?
Man, typically like 5 o'clock.
Okay, I already have a spot for 5 o'clock. What I can do for you is I can try to squeeze you in for a 7, see if we can get to you then.
Okay, that's not bad. Now, I think though, because in this situation, they're booking, they're trying to push it out, is if you could try to make it seem like you're going out of your way to get them in, but you're so booked. Because again, when I say, man, I don't have nothing this week, I'm still solidifying the whole beginning of, I understand being busy, but dude, I'm busier, and this is more important. With that, you understand what I'm saying? So you want to say, listen, I don't have anything at 5 o'clock. In fact, I don't have anything the next couple of days. But what I'm going to try to do is move my 7 o'clock to an earlier time. If I can't make that work, I'll call and let you know. But let's just plan on 7 o'clock tomorrow. And because I'm doing that, I'm going to need a window between 6:30 and 7:30. Is that fair enough? Okay. All right. So let's do it again. So you go back to just the playing along. Yeah, I can't promise anything, but I'm gonna put down some notes here. What time are you in?
Okay, I can't promise anything, but I'm gonna put some notes down here. What time are you usually in the door?
I do typically like 5 o'clock.
Okay, so it looks like I don't have any open spots available for 5 o'clock. What I can do for you is I can move my 7 o'clock down, see if I can move it earlier, and then we'll go with 7 o'clock for you, and then to make sure we get you in there.
Okay. So again, just say I can't promise anything.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to put you on 7 o'clock. If that doesn't work, I'll shoot you a call.
Okay.
But let's just plan on it.
Okay.
So it's basically saying like, dude, I'm gonna have to check with somebody else to get you in. I don't know if we're gonna have to make sure they're good. You know what I mean? So do it that way. So.
Okay. So I don't have anything for 5 o'clock. But I can't promise you anything. But what I can try to do is move my 7 o'clock earlier. So we're just gonna go with 7 o'clock. If anything, I will shoot you a text.
If that doesn't work.
If that doesn't work.
Okay, perfect. And this is now the only thing I ask, because I'm making that work for you guys, because I know how important it is that you give me a window between 6:30 and 7:30. Is that fair enough?
Okay.
All right, good.
And then the only thing I ask of you, from you guys, is give me a window between 6:30 and 7, so I can get to you guys.
Okay, perfect. All right, much better, right? So it's just little things like that, and the reality is like the objection handling workbook and all those different things are there for you to practice, drill, rehearse. What I would encourage everybody to do is before dial days, spend some time like listening to a couple podcasts on phones. Listen to a couple. Listen to the objection handling workbook. You could look at Family First Life phone script, and you can hear a myriad of different people. Whoever you relate to the best, listen to them, right? But don't try to do all these different. Everybody's got kind of a different technique. The concepts are the same. Like I can break down everybody's phone script within FFL and say, see, that's the psychology there. That's where they build value. That's where they create urgency. That's the takeaway. The method's different, but the problem is when you're trying to listen and change all these different methods, you got 19 different methods blended together, and you're mix matching all these different. It just doesn't work the same, right? It's no different than. Like Alabama and Clemson, they have probably different playbooks, right? They both work, but they're different. You understand what I'm saying? They're both blocking and tackling. They're both running and passing, but they're different playbooks. If I'm Nick Saban, I can't coach you based off of Clemson's playbook. It's not mine. So just find one that works really well for you and try to devour that stuff. Does that make sense? Because then you're able to really take in and develop the right thought process on that one playbook, how they say the certain words, why they say these certain words. But I do believe it's important before you get to dial day to start to set yourself up with a couple podcasts before you walk in, so your mindset is renewed and is thinking the right things related to dialing, booking appointments. And by the way, I don't ever think it's a bad idea too if you're taking 30 minutes, an hour for lunch to pop that on a podcast or two and listen to it. What it's going to do, it's like almost giving you the right model back in front of you, right? It's no different than if I say, hey man, listen, this Sunday we're going to run this play, right? We're going to do a sweep. We're going to run this play. And you've already been playing the game. It's halftime, right? And that sweep's not working the way you want it to be working. And you don't know why it's not been working the way you want it to be working. And then the coach puts the actual video of exactly how it should be ran. And you're like, got it. That's why. I'm not making the sweep, wide enough. I'm coming in way too close. I need to belly. Got it. Because you got to see it done the right way. And then you were able to look back at your experience and say, that's where I'm messing it up. Does that make sense? Also not a bad idea to record yourself And the thing that'll help with these too, for anybody that wants the live coaching, is like, Jayvin, we're going to get you this video so you can watch it. Because I promise you, like the agent that says, man, I'm doing it just like that, bro. Like, that's how I did it, dog, just like that. I'm like, no, you didn't, dude. You said nothing. I don't even think you said the one word like I did. In fact, even the way you said hi was like super high pitched. What do you like, American Idol? Like, dude, that was weird. I didn't say it like that either. Like, nothing about what I said is how you said it. But we just don't know. Sometimes it's a blind spot. Does that make sense? We all have blind spots in every area of our life. When it comes to sales, though, we want to uncover those blind spots. And when you watch this video, and you can start to say, oh man, I didn't know I said it like that. And that's what you'll do. Oh, I said it. And then you'll make those tweaks and adjustments, and you can watch the repetition, and all of a sudden now, the next time the person says on the phone, Jayvin, it doesn't work this week. Can you call me back next week? Your ability, knowing what to say, will be that much better, and you're more likely to book the appointment. I'll wrap up with this. For anybody that's like, man, I just need to get way better. That's my issue. No. Don't forget the first 2 points. The first point is commitment. If you're committed, do you need to have all the right abilities, answers, and words to say? No. You'll figure it out. If you're not committed, you're going to figure out a way not to make it work. Does that make sense? You got to be committed, showing up, giving everything you got. The second thing is more leads. Those are the two biggest things that if you're not hitting your goals, that will make the difference in you hitting your goal. The third thing is this. Let's teach you what to say, how to say it, level up, get better, grow. This is a clinic. Clinics where you go get treatment, man. You get that shot. You get brought back to life. You get things tweaked and adjust. That's what this is, man. It's a sales clinic. It's bring those dry bones back to life, because I've been not closing when I want to close. That's the goal. So guys, appreciate you joining. Hope this helped. Make it a big week.